All right, there's officially a metric ton for us to talk about, so we need to just get right into it. All right, so Paizo announced that they are doing a remaster of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and then after announcing that, they decided, I don't know if it was planned or if there was so much hubbub about it, that they decided to do a live stream, but at 1 o'clock they did a 1 hour live stream on their Twitch channel. They gave us significantly more information. Let's go over that 1 hour stream, and I took copious notes. So before we get into the core books that are going to be coming out with the remaster, let's talk about some big changes. I'm not going to talk about my opinion until the very end, so let's just get through the bullet points. First of all, there's going to be no more alignment. They're changing spell level to spell rank. They're going to be reworking the witch and how the witch works. They're also going to be reworking the alchemist and how the alchemists work, how alchemical potions are made, how crafting works. They're talking about making it simpler on how crafting is going to be working. They also mentioned that they are going to be getting rid of ability scores. They will be keeping ability modifiers, from my understanding from this live stream. And before you start asking, yes, once you hit +4, it's going to still take 2 boosts to get you to a +5. Now, those are the kind of big, huge changes that they have announced. There are some more notes within each of the things. For example, in the core player book, which is coming out in November, there's going to be 8 classes: the Bard, the Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Ranger, Rogue, Witch, and Wizard. They've already talked about that they did not like the way that the Witch was casting spells and how it was working, so they want to work on how the Witch casts spells and how that's going to be working. There's going to be a bunch of ancestries, including the Nephilim, which basically, from my understanding, it is the overarching heritage that's allowing you to take demonic bloodline or angelic bloodline, aka tieflings or Azamar. I think that's due to an OGL reason. For the alignment, they were talking about the reason why that they're changing alignment or getting away from it is, one, it is kind of old, and they also had a system in there, and while they could defend it in court, they still wanted to step away from it because of the OGL. So they're going to keep edicts and edicts and anathemum, whatever. I will put a Google saying of that word here.
Anathema.
And they're saying basically, like with, you know, the cleric and the champion, how each of those classes had these edicts and anathema that they couldn't do, or that they were that they had to do. That was kind of their route for it. There was a good question at the very end of the stream where they were asking, you know, are certain deities going to care whether you are good or bad? And their answer was there will definitely be certain deities that make sense for them, that they like it when you're holy, and will not let you follow them if you're unholy. They kept hinting at it. I feel like it was past a hint. Instead of having spells that do good damage or evil damage based off your alignment, it would be holy and unholy. It's very similar to any other sort of system like fire, ice, like, oh, I'm resistant to ice damage. Well, they're resistant to holy damage or resistant to unholy damage. So I think that that's the way that they're going to be using the evil versus good damage in the system, which I think is a much cleaner, much better system. If you notice that the champion is not in the first 8 in the original core book, and they said that that was due to the fact that they wanted more time to work the champion out and get the holy and unholy damage aspect of things together. The next book that they're coming out with, also in November, is the GM core book. That's going to have all of the magic items, all of the this is how you play stuff, like as a GM. They're going to be making crafting items easier. They're putting the free archetype system in the GM's book. Still going to be a variant rule, but it's going to be within the core book because of its popularity. They also talked about one of the reasons why that they were doing these books is because of organization, and especially organization of items. And they are looking at treasure trove, or the treasure vault, and using the way that they did organization within that to move over and do item organizations here. I'm cool with that. I think that's a good idea. They also talked about that they're going to make talismans more important or better. They're upgrading. One of the things that they had said that I really liked was the fact that they were talking about how that they weren't, when they're looking at redoing something or upgrading something, they were looking at how to make it bigger, make it more powerful, make it more interesting. Instead of going the aspect of, oh, this is too powerful, let's squash it, they're going along the routes of, okay, well, this isn't as powerful, let's make this cooler, let's make this more interesting. They also talked about the fact that they want to rework how focus points work. They want to clean it up, make it simpler. I'm hoping that they're going to just get rid of the fact that you can only refocus one focus point for a 10-minute rest. I hope it's just you regain your focus points up to max every time you rest. That would be very nice. We'll see how that comes out. The next that they're going to be launching is the Monster Core book. That's going to be coming out in March. That's going to be primarily monsters from Bestiary 1, but it will have some from 2 and 3. All of those monsters in the original Bestiary 1, 2, 3, all of them are still going to be completely compatible. The only thing that they're doing, it feels like, is that they are basically all of the OGL monsters, or the things that Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons & Dragons could really fight that are theirs. They are either renaming or reevaluating them. Also, because they got rid of alignment, they're going to be getting rid of alignment off of every single monster, because that part of it is not going to matter anymore. Yeah, that's the monster one. Oh, the key awesome thing that they talked about is that dragons. They talked about that they were changing how they're going to be doing dragons. I don't know if that means that they're just going to stop printing dragons based off of their color, red, gold, silver, all of the chromatic and metallic dragon stuff. But they were saying that they're going to be doing dragons based off of magical traditions. So they're going to be doing 2 dragons per tradition. So 2 arcane, 2 divine, 2 primal, and 2 occult. We did get a spoiler on what some of those dragons are going to be. Let's see, did I write that? Yeah, the Fortune Dragon, the Omen Dragon, and the Imperial Dragon. They also mentioned the 2 other ones that have already been announced, which is the Mirage Dragon. I can't remember the other one. I didn't write it down. So they mentioned those. They basically went into how each of these spell type was going to reflect the personality and the way that those dragons work. For example, Arcane may be into lore and magic, and clearly that makes sense, versus Occult is going to be the more mysterious or strange or hidden dragons. So that is the Monster Core. Then in July of 2024, they're going to be launching the Plare Core 2. That is going to have all of the classes that we had previously missed in the core book, which include the Alchemist and the Sorcerer and the Champion. I'm very excited about this, since they are talking about reworking the Alchemist, making the Alchemist better, because they feel like it's not up to where it should be. The Champion, clear reasons why, due to the fact that they're getting rid of alignment. There's a lot more rework within the Champion class that needs to be changed versus the other. The Sorcerer, I'm intrigued to figure out why the Sorcerer was pushed. That is all. And, you know, we're also going to see a brand new heritage with that. We're also going to get a lot more additional ancestries. For example, the Knoll, which is going to be changed to the Colo. That is all OGL aspects. Troop rules will not be in any of the Monster Core books, but side spoiler, the Rage of Elements will have more troop monsters that you will be able to use. They've already started working with digital partners, where either each of them will be different. So some of them might say that this is legacy content, or they might offer free upgrades or free changes. But basically, if you have products it's not gonna. You're still gonna have them. It's not gonna change your gameplay of if you're using digitally. They're getting rid of ability scores, only using mods. Love that. Cleaning and changing up how refocusing worked, which I mentioned. The additional dragons. Alignment change heavily on OGL and has a lot of gameplay changes. That was the bare bones bullet point, as little opinion as I possibly could have given. Now it's time for my opinion. Completely cool with this. I love it. I am sad that due to this change, a lot of the books that we were going to see had to get pushed back, but I also understand it. The stuff that happened with Wizards of the Coast and the OGL, it makes complete sense why that they're just trying to completely avoid it, completely get out of it, don't want to touch it. Perfect. Love 100% of that. Getting rid of the ability score and just having modifiers and or number of boosts. I love that. That is it. Ability scores literally just take up space on your character sheet. It has no point, no purpose whatsoever. I love the dragon idea. I think that is amazing. There wasn't anything that they talked about that I did not like. The biggest negative takeaway was, well, crap. Our new content that we've been excited to see is going to get pushed back further because they needed to do this. I'm okay with the splitting the core and the GM book into two, only having to hand a player the player book instead of having to hand them both the core and the GM book as one giant book. There is just a lot of really, really good benefits to all of this. I think that this is all a great change. Like I feel like I have to look at my notes because I'm trying to figure out if I thought anything was bad. Like I really do not remember disliking anything. I'm happy about the witch change. I'm happy about the refocus change. I'm happy about the alchemist. Alchemist is my favorite class to play, at least the theme of alchemist. If they're going to rework it and they talk about boosting it up and giving it the oomph that it needs, I'm for it. Championship, get rid of alignment. I hate alignment. It is the worst thing. We've been homebrewing alignment damage since the very beginning of gameplay at my house. We literally have said, okay, you're using an elemental or not elemental. You're using a holy spell, and you're a good character, and you're casting out a neutral character. It's going to do normal damage. But if they are an evil character, they have weakness to that type of damage, which I think is very close to how they will probably be proceeding. Something that I did find interesting, a piece of insight, was a lot of the reasons they kept some of these things, for example, ability modifier and ability score, was because they felt that if they changed things too much, then they were going to see people that were Pathfinder First Edition people see that it was so drastically different, and so that they would just basically shun it. And while there was a small group of community within the Pathfinder First Edition community that did in fact do that, I don't think that it matters anymore. We've been playing Pathfinder Second Edition for 4 years. They're making these changes. Are they going to do a play test? That should have been a really good question. But we'll see what's going to happen. We know for sure that PaizoCon, May 26th, we are going to be seeing a 2-hour seminar about Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remastered. The other thing that I'm really hoping that they announce, which I don't think they are, I think that they would have, I don't know, maybe they are, but I'd love to see a Starfinder 2nd Edition. Starfinder needs that 3-action love. Starfinder really needs to streamline a lot of their content. Because it's really good, and it's a really fun fantasy, and it's a really great aspect within the game, but exactly. Until next time, everyone, thank you so much for listening to me completely babble on about something that I find very cool and very interesting. Plan on seeing more of these in the future. We'll not be in front of this black backdrop. We are changing things around in here. Let's just say it at that. And so I'm trying to figure out the best format, best space, best everything. So you're going to be seeing a lot of weird stuff. So until next time, everyone. Bye. Now here it's the time for me to talk to you about all of the things I have to talk to you about, which is going down in the comments and letting us know, what are you most excited about? What are you most scared about with the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remastered? Hit the like button. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Share this with your friends. Post it on Reddit. Post it on your mom's Facebook page. Do all that cool stuff. Bye. I think that's it. Yeah.